good, YouTube? It's your boy Tim. I told y'all we was coming back with some videos, preview Alabama and Georgia, and then the rest of the conference championships. And I hope the people in the community that seen all last night, eye test, what they're gonna do, put Oregon 2 more spots ahead because they have 2 good losses now to Washington. Even though I think Oregon's a decent team, but they just was overrated because they were playing mediocre teams. And y'all seen Washington still beat them. Michael Penix still showed out. Now, I'll give Oregon everything they got. They did fight. And shout out to Trayshawn Holden, former Alabama player, who they used to call Twitter fingers. He did have some big catches in that big catch at the end of the game to keep Oregon alive. But Washington still pulled it out. Not surprised to me. It might be some surprise to some of y'all, but that effect honestly doesn't have anything on Alabama. So really all Alabama needs, of course, which is, it sounds like it's very easy, but Alabama needs to win and they need Texas or Florida State to lose now, which don't seem there, I think. But let's preview the other championship games before we get to Alabama and Georgia. I'm going to talk about them briefly. We got Iowa and Michigan. This is the one that mostly everybody, just like me, probably going to say easy Michigan win because Iowa, they haven't had offense in years. Now, they had some defense, dominant defense, but I just don't think they have enough offense to even keep this a game. Maybe they can keep it close for about a quarter with their defense. The defense might keep them in the game, but Michigan is eventually going to pull away. It might be a low-scoring game. That's something I might expect, but yeah, that game really, it's no, like, Iowa doesn't have no offense. Michigan might guarantee them a playoff spot. Now let's move on to Texas or Oklahoma State. As much as I want Texas to lose, if Oklahoma State would have lost last week, we would have had a rematch of Texas or Oklahoma. Even though I still think Texas is the better team than Oklahoma, they probably would have had a better shot at I think of beating Texas, but Oklahoma State loves to run the ball, and I feel like that's, well, I don't feel like, I know that's Texas defense strength with that front seven. So, I mean, this game could still really be close because it is Texas. Texas has had some close games, just like Oregon, but Texas has played more valuable, and I mean valuable ranked teams, unlike Oregon. And they actually have beat ranked teams, unlike Oregon, except for Oregon State, I guess you can call them. But, yeah, I think Texas just has too many weapons. That front seven on defense, I just don't think Oklahoma State has them. Don't get me wrong, I actually think Oklahoma State can make this a game, but I think Texas late, they have too many athletes on the field. I'm pretty sure, even though Xavier Worthy came back in the game last week, it looked like he wouldn't play for the rest of the season. I'm pretty sure he'd be good to go. I'm pretty sure I seen CJ Baxter and that, everybody else in the backfield, even though Jonathan Brooks out for the season, they have a ton of talent in that backfield. And shout out to my boy Kelvin Banks, who's from down here, but he moved to Houston and he's been showing out for Texas. But yeah, I just see Texas pulling away. I don't see Oklahoma State. I feel like they'll keep it a game, but they're a running football team, and I feel like that's Texas defense strength. So I don't see Texas losing, honestly. But don't get me wrong, they can lose. Don't give me to it. But all right, let's get into Florida State and Louisville. Now, Shoemaker is questionable, and honestly, Shoemaker plays or not, I think Louisville should be the favorite in this game. Louisville, even though they lost to a mediocre Kentucky team and a mediocre Pittsburgh team in the middle of the season, I honestly think Louisville should be the favorite. Florida State. Now, y'all want to talk about somebody that hasn't played nobody, we need to talk about Florida State, honestly. Honestly, if Oregon would have won, Alabama were to win, and Texas were to win, I honestly feel like all of them are better teams than Florida State. But so gladly that Oregon lost. But for Texas and Alabama, they need Florida State or Alabama to lose, which I don't know. Florida State, I think they will lose because let's think about it. They lose their best player, Jordan Travis. They've been inconsistent all year. Now, they do have a decent running game, but I think Louisville will stop the running game. If Florida State is one-dimensional, I think Louisville will stop that and win the game because Louisville is a more complete team. Now, I know Florida State got Benson in the backfield, and I forget the other guy's name, but then you got Keon Coleman, you got Jonathan Wilson on the outside, but I just feel like Louisville will win this game. I don't feel like Florida State has enough if Shoemaker plays or not, which I don't think he should with that concussion. He's in concussion protocol. He came back in the game last week. Wasn't 100%, which I don't understand, but I just don't think Florida State has enough QB play to beat Louisville. But that's not saying Florida State doesn't have a chance. I think Florida State still has a good chance, but I just think that they are one-dimensional in that game. Louisville wins it. Now let's get into the big game. Alabama versus Georgia. All right. I get that Alabama's the underdog. I love Alabama being the underdog. Everybody's down Nick Saban just like they did 2 years ago. I feel like this is the same situation. You're coming off a close victory versus Auburn. Then you turn around and have to play big, bad Georgia. And you also have another running back injury. Except for Brian Robinson played through it. And Jace McClellan will actually be out today. So we got Roydell Williams will have to step up, which he's going to run hard. Jam Miller. Then you got Justice Haynes, who I've been waiting for him to get an opportunity. But I think I honestly can't wait for next year for Jam and Haynes to take over the backfield because I feel like there's a lot of talent and they're both explosive. And Jam Miller can pick up blitzes very well. But honestly, Alabama matches up really, really well to Georgia as much as people don't want to admit it. Georgia fans are kind of nervous, but this game could really go either way because Alabama has sometimes been inconsistent, but we are clicking at the right time. But I think today, both of these QBs show out, Carson Beck and Jalen Miro. But honestly, as much as I want this to be a low-scoring game, I honestly think this can be some of the range, like 35-28. If Alabama gets pressure on Carson Beck, I like Bama's chances. Also, if Georgia gets pressure on Jalen Miro, you would like Georgia's chances. But I feel like Alabama's defense is underrated. I also feel like Georgia's offense is underrated because they don't talk about how good Carson Beck has been all season, especially when he's not getting pressure. He's literally been elite. He should be in the Heisman conversation just like Jalen Miro should be. But, I mean, I honestly think Bama matches up well. And Kirby Smart out here talking about he doesn't know Lab McCunkey and Brock Bowers to play. Stop, bro. We know they're playing. It's the conference championship. You sat them last week for a reason, okay? But, yeah, I think Jalen Miro creates enough plays, and I think Bama's defense gets enough stops, and I think they pull this out 31-21, Alabama. Even though I really got in the back of my mind that Georgia can blow us out if Alabama has one of those wishy-washy games with the center snapping the ball over the head, defense not alert. Don't get me wrong, I really do think we can lose this game, but I honestly think Nick Saban will have this team prepared. I think Jalen Miro will come out here and make some plays, not just with his legs, with his arms. And I think Jermaine Burton will be up and ready for this game versus a former team. Trust me, he will be ready. And I also think Isaiah Bond and a key player of this game, I think, will be Amari Niblack and Jam Miller. For some reason, I just have in my head, I think them two will make some key plays in this game. I feel like they haven't been used enough in this offense this year. Just like I feel like Kendrick Law hasn't been used enough in this offense. And as you've seen weeks, the last few weeks, they've been getting them more. Well, really, ever since the Tennessee game, they've been putting packages in, just like they're using them like Debo Samuel. Shout out to Kendrick Law, another 318 product. But, yeah, I really do think Alabama will pull this off some range where 31-21. But don't get me wrong, Georgia will come ready. But if Alabama creates them turnovers like that, like I think they will, maybe like one or two, or maybe just the D-line getting pressure. I think Chris Braswell and Dallas Turner have to have a big game. And I also think a Boy B will have a good game. Hopefully 30, Campbell is on the field more with Lawson, because y'all seen he makes plays. He always, even last week, even on the punt return, he just so happened to be in the right position. But Campbell should always be on the field. And I also believe Caleb Downs will have especially with Brock Bowers playing. Well, they say he's not playing, but I mean, he may not play, but we know he's playing. But hopefully Caleb Downs will have a big game versus Brock Bowers, because that guy is elite. But it's Benny Bullet Tim, Alabama. Please come with your A game, because we got to have this conversation about these playoffs. And I do believe Florida State will lose to Louisville, but y'all have a good day.